After participating in the Saucha Seva the previous night, we took a quick shower at the dawn and left for Lord Vishweshwara's darshan. No matter how many times we are taught that God is omnipresent, we are always under the illusion that He is present only in the temple amidst the various types of worships, pujas, and Vedic mantras. Likewise, we always fear that if we do not visit the temple for a darshan, we will have to suffer the consequences. This illusion and fear are matters around which a number of karmas and a lot of maya are intertwined. I am a soul and I have a body. No matter how many times we remind ourselves of this truth, it is only the feeling that I possess a body and that these belong to me. This gives us a lot of satisfaction. Is it even possible to think that I am a soul and that I will discard the body one day? So, why increase the bondages around the body? Can such realization be expected from us who are trapped amidst the materialistic transactions? Obviously, if such realization dawns, we would not be entangled in the vicious circle of Maya. Our volunteers arranged trouble free darshan for us. Unfortunately, it started raining heavily. Drenched in the rain, we sat and watched Swami's decorations, puja, archana, etc. Even in the middle of this downpour, our volunteers were engaged in mindful meditation as per Mataji's instructions. One of the flower garlands removed from Swami's idol was thrown up and it landed on me. After reverentially touching it to my eyes, I immediately handed it over to Mohit, who was sitting next to me. The magnificent vibrations and the downpour of cosmic energy within the temple could only be matched by the downpour of the rain outside. Perhaps due to the huge Sri Chakra that Mataji mentioned about, our volunteers got wonderful experiences while they were meditating. Sitting in the temple premises after completing my darshan, I was reminded about a lot of things. How many times this city of Kashi faced the wrath of enemies? How many times the treasures of this temple has been plundered? The original temple was demolished by Aurangzeb. In 1750, the Maharaja of Jaipur made all efforts to restore the temple to its former glory, but it was demolished again. In 1780, Queen Ahilyabai Holkar of Indore constructed the present temple and could restore some of the old glory. Why is the idol of Sarveshwara not in front of magnificent Nandi? I soon found out the answer. Lord Sarveshwara was originally in a Jnana Nava, or a boat of knowledge in front of the Nandi. But fearing the constant invasions of the enemy, the devotees hid the idol of Lord Shiva inside a well. Later, a mosque came up at the very place where the idol of Swami used to be, and the present temple has been built on an adjacent site. This clearly explains why Sarveshwara and Nandi are not in front of each other. Any country that does not realize the value of its spiritual wealth will bury its glory in the annals of history and will not share it with the upcoming and future generations. Millions of our countrymen have passed away with absolutely no knowledge of our spiritual wealth. How many people born in this country are aware of the cosmic energy fields that can turn this karma bhumi into a punya bhumi? How many of them are making use of this knowledge?